friends, and welcome. You know what today is. Today is Thursday, and Thursday is Beyond Small Talk Day. Welcome and hello. My name is Jackie Janik. I'm a women's empowerment coach, helping women uncover their purpose and define their own path in the world. And today, you are watching Beyond Small Talk. Real women, real conversations, elevating womankind one talk at a time. And I've missed you all. Last week was Thanksgiving, and we had a bit of a hiatus. And this week, I'm just so excited to see you all. I have truly missed you and very excited to have Bonnie Barrios. I'm sorry, Bonnie, I said that right. I listened to all your latest tips and tools and how moms can organize snacks. Bonnie Barrios. And she's on. Let's get her on. And today's topic, we're talking about organization. So Bonnie is helping mothers and busy professionals gain peace with organized spaces and lives. And I posted yesterday that she said release. She talked about releasing things, but so many things I think make me happy, and I tend to be a little bit of a collector, I like to call it. My sister also calls me a hoarder.
Oh my God, here we go. Hi, Jackie.
Hi,
How are
hi.
you? Good,
Great,
good.
how are you?
I'm good.
Oh,
Navigating this Instagram thingy. Okay, let me
yeah,
raise
I
my
think
volume.
we're all good. And I'm so sorry, I think I pronounced Barrios, right?
Barrios. Yeah, that's
Yep,
good.
I said it great. Great. Thank you so much. And thank you for, I love the background. Of course, we're talking about organization, and my eyes like were immediately drawn to the beautifully color coded. I do that with my books too.
Oh, awesome. Yes, that's my new thing. That's my new thing. I like all the books that I organize lately. I color code them and I just feel it looks prettier. I used to do it by height and then I was
Oh,
like, oh, I'm just going to change it. I'm just going to do it by color. And it just looks so much nicer.
it's gorgeous.
Thank you.
I did not give you justice with your introduction. So
Okay.
can you introduce yourself to the Beyond Small Talk community and tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, how did you get started and why talking about like organization?
Yeah, totally. So, I mean, you and I know each other for a long time now,
Way back.
right? Yeah, way, way,
Yes.
way, way, way back. Yes. So I feel that I've been organizing now for probably over 10 years. I started with, I worked for two other companies, and then once I had my first daughter, I still worked for a company, but then at some point I was just like, I think I'm ready. I'm going to do this on my own. And I branched out on my own. And I think that that's probably when we met as entrepreneurs and networking and getting our business off the ground. And, I I organized all my life and I didn't know that. And so it was really funny because I met a girl that I had done a show with and we had a networking group and she was like, oh, I'm an organizer. And I said, what is that? And she goes, oh, I go to people's homes and I organize their papers and I organize their closets. And I was like, really? You do that? I said, I've been doing that all my life for myself. And I realized that the reason that I did that is because I grew up in such a chaotic household that it was so unpredictable. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know who was going to scream. I didn't know. And that was my way of controlling and
Mm.
escaping because it's my escape. Therapy. Organizing for me it's therapy. Like I go and I do a closet and I get lost in doing a closet for 2-3 hours and I'm so happy doing it. So everything came together. Something that I started doing as a kid, had no idea that it was a profession, met somebody that did it. I shadowed them, ended up working with one or two companies in the city, and then I branched out on my own.
That's amazing. And it's your first thought, maybe when you met the organizer, you're like, wait, this is a profession? Like,
Yes.
I love doing it. It
Yeah.
brings me like joy, but I get
Yes.
paid for it? Like, I think
Yes.
that's like the cherry on top. It's like, oh, I get paid.
Yes, yes, yes. Like my sister just moved and I was like on her and I was like, do you want me to help you? Do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do that? So finally she was like, all right, come help me do this. So I spent a whole weekend with her prepping for the move and she looked at me, she goes, oh my God, I can't believe that you like doing this. How can you do this? This is like so stressful. Like, how much do you want me to pay you? Like, you can do everything. And I was like, I love it. I'm like, you don't have to pay me. Like, I honestly, truly love doing it. It's something that comes from inside of me, and I'm passionate about it.
Yes. How do you define like organization? What's your definition of it?
I think, Jackie, it's a little bit hard. I think for everybody
Hmm.
is different, right? Especially, I talk about people, I work with people that are very creative, and organization for them is very different than when I work with somebody that's very type A, and it's like a
Hmm.
high level executive, and things need to be in a certain order, and everything has to be much more practical, as opposed to a creative person where like things need to be out, they need to be visible, they need to be colorful, they need to be pretty. So it's not a one trick pony. When I work with someone, I really customize a system for them. And I think that organize, or being organized, like I like to say, is you being able to live your life to the fullest without being held back from your clutter.
That's a perfect definition because I feel like when the clutter starts coming in and it forms in different, it manifests in different ways in different
Yes,
places. So like
yes,
my car, my closet, my makeup
yeah,
bag, things like that, my files on my desktop. And
yes.
then this clutter, I don't know if it happens for you or other people, starts to give me anxiety.
Oh,
It like
yes.
feels like, right, like very overwhelming. Like I'm in this like chaotic swirl where I was like, how the heck do I get out of it? And
Yeah.
an answer could be organize it.
Organize it, or just purge it, right? and there
Mm,
and there's different types of clutter as well. And
mhm.
I've written about this. There's emotional clutter, and when we have a lot of emotional
Gotta
clutter,
write that
it
down. Yeah.
also manifests in us keeping certain things, right? we
Yes.
keep we keep that t-shirt or that jean that we wore in college because we're so emotionally attached to it. But really what we are is emotionally attached to how we felt at that time,
Yes.
right?
Like you're attached to the feeling, and I want to feel that when
Yeah,
I'm with that item. My
yeah,
sister calls me that I'm a hoarder.
yeah,
I'm going to tell her this is my emotional clutter
yes.
because I keep yes, I keep things like that, but I've lost people in my life, so I keep like things of theirs, and
Hmm.
that it makes no sense. And one or two items I think is like, is nice and acceptable, but
Yeah,
sometimes I have like an excessive amount of like cards or things that they wrote, or like
yeah.
I keep everyone's driver's license. Like
Oh
it's
my
like
God, that's so
weird
funny.
things.
That's so funny. I would just keep one. I would just keep one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm also not that type of organizer that I go into people's homes and I'm like, okay, you need to get rid of everything. Like, don't do this and don't do that and take a picture of it. Yeah, you could take a picture of it. Yes, you can do. But I also feel that there are certain things that you should keep. So it's just a balance. It's just a balance. It's like, okay, do I keep 20 driver's licenses, or do I just keep one driver's license that is still going to bring me back that memory? So
Mm.
yeah, so there's the emotional clutter, obviously the
Mm.
physical clutter that we have, and then there is the mental clutter, right? Where
Mm.
we keep all the files and all the to-do lists in our head. And that could be overwhelming because we're constantly thinking that we have to remember what we have in our heads instead of
Yes.
just doing like a master dump, right? I call them the master dump, mind dump list, where you just dump everything that's on your mind and everything that needs to get done so that you could clear your head. So there's different types of clutter that way.
Oh, that's so good to know. Because I think then people, or myself, start judging, right? It's like, oh my God, I have this clutter, I have this clutter. And if you think of it in those kind of buckets, then you could, have a different strategy on how you approach each one to
Yeah.
alleviate the feeling of clutter. For me, it's very overwhelm or anxiety, or so I want to move past that. Can you give us like an example of a tip we can do?
For the emotional clutter, for the mental clutter.
Yes.
Yes. So
Emotional clutter. This is just personally serving me right now.
yes, 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 yes. No, absolutely, absolutely. You know, the emotional clutter is, for example, I'm going to give you an example first, right?
Hmm.
I've worked with independent women that have fabulous jobs and have fabulous apartments, and they want to bring that special person into their life. And they're like, no matter what I do, it's not happening. I don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden, when we start working, we realize that they're keeping like boxes and boxes of old letters from ex-boyfriends or
Mm,
ex-fiancés or whatever it is. And I'm like, okay, well, why are we holding on to this? Because that is charged with energy, and
yeah.
you're holding on to that energy. So it's that emotional clutter. It's physical, obviously, because it's tangible, but it's really emotional because unconsciously you're still holding on to that instead of just taking that out and getting rid of that, right? To just bring the new in. And also, when you move things, when you clean things, you're moving the energy in your space. So you're allowing for the things that you want to come into your life. I know we're getting very spiritual on this, but hey, this is where the conversation went. It's a spiritual
Yeah.
kind of organization day. The other thing that I've been doing, especially now during COVID, that we had been home, and especially for moms with kids that we had to homeschool, all of a sudden we had to become not just a wife and not just a worker, and but teachers and
Hmm.
cooks, chefs, and cleaners, right? And all this stuff. Um, Journaling. I think journaling
Mm.
really, really helped me. Um, I know that we're jumping a little in about like
It's okay.
self-care. I've
Hmm.
realized that for me, when I don't journal, and like let's say 2 weeks go by, I start feeling that chaos in my head
Hmm.
because I can't, like, it's too much. Like like the feelings, the
Excuse me.
emotions, like I should be doing this or maybe I shouldn't be doing that, but did I do this, but I did. And so it becomes very cluttered, and then I don't do anything. I literally freeze. I become kind of paralyzed. I'm like,
Mhm.
I can't do this. And my desk starts getting cluttered with paper and stuff like that. Once I start journaling and I start writing down my thoughts, I'm able to release like papers and envelopes and stuff that I don't need. Um, so I would say for emotional and for mental, definitely journaling, having a gratitude journal, or now they have like these happiness journals that I was looking
Yeah.
into that I was like, oh my God, these would be great Christmas gifts, holiday gifts. But if you could allow yourself to do that every day for at least 10 minutes, that would be great. For the
Yeah.
mental, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, for the mental clutter,
Strongly, sorry,
yeah,
think the same thing. Like it's a part of self-care that this organization is a part of self-care.
mhm,
Like these are things that you can do for yourself. And I know some people find some of these answers that we're talking about maybe a little woo-woo-ish, but I truly believe in when you release things, it moves the energy and it opens the space for new things to come in. So you're making me think more about the things that I'm holding on to and what is the purpose of it? I'm thinking to myself, what is the purpose that you hold on to these things? And while I do journal, I like the ones that prompt you with questions because
oh
that's the
yeah,
other thing that I hear that women are sometimes like, I just don't know what to journal about, right? And
yeah,
sometimes when you tell people just free write, they're like, I don't know what to free write. I was like, I free wrote like things like, what am I writing about? You suck at writing. Like this has
yeah,
been my free writing, no judgment. And I like the prompted question. So it's like, what is the purpose of you holding on to this? What is it doing for you? And then when you release it, what kind of feelings come up from that? Like when you work with a woman and she releases something, can you share anything that they feel after that? Like what's the new feelings that come up?
yeah. It's cathartic. It's very
Yeah.
cathartic. Um, Now that during COVID, I didn't go to people's homes after,
Mhm.
recently that I've been back and it's been so busy, and I've been working with, a different range of ages and situations. Um, it's life changing, right? It's really life changing. So for example, the women that I work with, or the person that I work with that was holding on to that, once she released that, it was so hard for her, and we did it together. And then like a day later, she sent me an email and she said, thank you so much. I feel so lighter. I feel happier. I feel like a weight has been taken off my shoulders. She energetically felt it, you know? And then for people that are older in life, that are going through different life transitions, that are getting rid of stuff, it's been such an epiphany for both of us, because I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and they're telling me, they're like, I don't even know why I held on to all these things for so long. It was just taking up
Mm-hmm.
space. I really didn't like them at the end. I don't even know why I bought them. I was wasting money by keeping all of these things. And
Mm,
once were able to release them, it was a sense of like freedom, almost,
yeah.
of letting go of all these things. So it also helped me to look at things differently, right? Like now when I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool, I want to buy it. I'm like, but wait, but do I really need it? Like, do I really need it? Is it really going to fit? Do I really love it? Is it going to fit in my house? Is it going to last for a couple of years? And most of the time I end up not buying it, because I'm like,
Mm.
no, it's okay. I mean, like, it's nice, but I really don't need it. Like, I don't love it. You know.
Yeah, I'm working on that when I see why I buy
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
stuff, and like where's my mindset where when I'm buying something, and it's oftentimes because something else is going on, right?
Yeah,
Where I feel like maybe less self control, or I'm in a bad mood and I'm like, oh, shopping always makes me feel better,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
then when I bring it into my apartment, or I bring it into my closet, it just gets more and more and more. And now my closet is like it's not well.
yeah. Right, right, right,
she
right.
needs she needs
Oh
attention
my
right
God.
now.
Okay. I would love to come over and
Oh, I
like,
would love for you to like see my closet. So I keep some specialty items in there. So it's like how we were talking about, like we have emotional attachment to it. I have an emotional attachment to this little leather jacket I had. And you know what? I know what I'm holding on to. I was young. I was in my early 20s. I was this big. I was just able to freely spend money. I had no problems, no challenges, no worries in the world, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it's such a cute little vintage cognac color leather jacket, and I love it.
Yeah.
I can't fit my arm in it. Like literally, I can't fit my arm in it, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It's like, why in an apartment that in New York, when you space is at premium,
Yeah.
that I'm saving this and holding on to it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
I
why? What's the
know.
purpose? What is
I
it
know.
serving for me? I think I explained it. What is it serving? It brings me back to that feeling
The
that,
feeling.
yeah, when you're a mom, you're a working mom, you have a lot of things going on, that sometimes to look at that and be like, remember when I was like dewy, glowy, fresh 20-year-old without a worry in the world,
I
right?
know, I know. Jackie, like if I was right now with you, working with you on your
Yeah.
closet, and we came upon this piece and you told me all of this, I would probably say to you, you know what? Keep it. Keep
Mm,
it, but let's get rid of maybe two or three other things that perhaps fit you, but don't make you look great because you just got it because it was like one of those days that you were like, oh, let me just go shopping. But it really, like, I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. I'll just go back to the other pair of jeans. I just bought those jeans for whatever. So I would keep that. And I'm going to share with you something similar to that. It was like I used to wear Coco Chanel perfume when I
mm.
was in college. Like, I was like so young, and I was like, why was I even wearing that perfume? But anyway, that's a story for another day. And I came across an ad in a magazine because I love going through magazines. And the Coco Chanel came up, and I was like, oh my God, when I used to wear the perfume and blah blah blah, and I was in college and I did this. So you know what? I bought the perfume.
Mm.
Right? I bought it.
Yeah.
So obviously it's smaller, you could keep a bottle of perfume, but I understood why I was doing it, because every morning when I'm wearing it now, when I put on that perfume, like I needed that sense for whatever it is that I'm going through, like right now, to feel that I can do whatever I set my mind to, like it was like that comfort, that feeling that I'm
Yeah.
capable of doing anything that I want. So I would probably say, okay, let's keep that because this is a good thing. Like, whenever you're feeling a little off and you need that you look at the jacket and you're going to get it, right? I put on the
Yeah.
perfume, I get that feeling, it brings me back, I feel great. But then let's get rid of other stuff, So I feel like if people that are listening to us and have never worked with an organizer or is thinking about working with an organizer, I think that you have to pick somebody to work with you because you're going through such intimate things that's
Mm.
gonna get you, and it's gonna be like, okay, that's okay, and respect your feelings and say, but then let's get rid of these other things.
Yeah, that's really important that maybe if you don't know about organizers or looking into doing this, that you might just pick anybody. Be like, oh, anyone could organize.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah,
no. You should really have someone that aligns with your values
yeah,
and understand you, because someone else, Bonnie, could have literally have just told me, throw it out. You're never going to finish it. That's like my sister. My sister, who's not a professional organizer, and I'm throwing shade at her, but also she doesn't listen, so she'll never know. Rude. My friend Allie's on, yes. We call my sister old fashioned. Miss Old Fashioned never is going to listen to my conversation, but she just claims that I'm always a hoarder and she doesn't see how I have like these values or these attachment to it because of the feeling.
right,
And you're right. I could also just think of right now probably 10 things
right.
that I can get rid of because you just gave me permission to keep the one thing that there's a few other things. I have like some handbags, like my little
Yeah,
Dior's and things like that. And those I can see, you know, to keep because they mean something, but I know I have so much more to throw out, or not throw out. I donate. I don't throw out. Like I just,
right,
and
right.
also I like to find things that I either don't fit in anymore or it's just not my style. Good homes. I always say, who would like to go to she, my
Yes,
clothing? Who needs a good home? She needs a good home. So I
yes.
usually donate or I bring to work and share with all the women there, because also I, a few years ago, decided that I will never be a certain size again, and that's okay. I'm 45 years old. I had a baby. Like, my body's changed. Regardless of whether the number, it's just the cut. Remember a long time ago, like, in my early 30s, I was wearing all like the Hudson and 7 jeans when 7 jeans were
Yeah,
just so popular. But it was a certain cut that like is not in style now and it doesn't fit my body at all, right?
right, right, right,
I finally gave those all away because I was like, okay, it didn't serve me anymore. Even though that was a great time in my life, I just gave them away.
right.
So I can see that. So is that part of the process, maybe going through? Do you go through all the pieces? Like, say, we're doing a closet makeover for me.
Yes.
Do you literally kind of like go through everything in there?
Yes. So the way that it works is like if I was doing your closet, I would come over and I would literally take out all your clothes. I would go section by section. I would probably start by, maybe all of the hanging clothes, throw it on the bed. And then, you and I are working together. I hold up each piece and I'm like, okay, what do you think? Is it a keeper? Is it a donator? Or a riches, like, it's ripped or whatever. So we have a
Mhm.
garbage pile, donate pile, fixed pile, keep pile. And then we make
Oh,
different piles. So normally it would take about like, depending on how much clothes and stuff like that, about like maybe an hour in total to go through everything. And then everything is out of the closets. And then I'm like, all right, go have coffee, do whatever you got to do. And then, I've probably done a walkthrough with you prior to that. And we've decided what kind of hangers we're going to use, what kind of
hmm.
organizing items we're going to use. And then I start my organizing and I do that on my own. Like there's really no need. I mean, obviously if the client wants to stay there and switch hangers or hang with me, that's fine. But if they're hiring me, it's probably because they don't want to do that. So
Yes.
yeah, so I'm like, all right, I can work now on my own and, you could go and do something else. So yeah, so we go through it together and
Great.
decide what it
And
is that you're going to keep.
and not to like give all your tips away, just the one tip. So I've heard different theories on how to like put things back in your closet. Some people tell me by color, some people say by, shirts, pants, and I get that kind of thing.
Yeah.
How about if you do by color? I generally have mostly black. My
Okay.
closet would look like black, 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 gray, olive, black. Like that's all I basically wear.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, it depends on the closet because if it's a New York City closet where it's just like basically you open up the door and it's like one rod and maybe
Yeah.
you have like a shelf. So then we have to become very creative and use that one hanging rod. So I would probably go from short to long. So I would probably do like either skirts or pants. Probably pants because if they're folded, I would do pants and then I would do skirts going into long skirts. Um, yeah, and then yeah, it depends. Like it would probably go that way into dresses, and then for the tops, it would go from like spaghetti straps to
Oh,
sleeveless to short sleeve to long sleeve. Now, if we're working with bigger space, then I put all like t-shirts and cotton shirts together. And then I do like more going out, like, like the shell shirts and like the fancier shirt blouses together. So it would be like shirts together, blouses together, long hanging together. And then everything does go color coordinated. That's my OCD. That's something that I've had since I was a kid. Those were my survival skills, being OCD about having my Barbies, all the same and having my books organized and now, with my profession, I do color. It goes color coordinated. So I'd start from light to dark to black. Mm-hmm.
got it.
Yeah.
That's an
And then the
excellent tip.
shoes,
Oh,
it depends. It depends on the shoe space that you have, right? So if you have a lot of space, then I would probably put them both looking forward. But if there's not enough space, then one is looking forward, and then the other one has the heel. The heel. This would be the heel. This would be the front of the shoe, because then you could store more instead of putting them both looking forward. Right.
gotcha,
Yeah, yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. So it would be like toe, heel, right?
Hmm.
So it would be toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good tip. Yeah,
And
because yeah, shoes are hard for me in the apartment. I don't have the correct, and I have a lot of shoes, and I have them in boxes, but
yeah,
then don't know what's in them, so I always have to go through and open it. I have seen people use like clear acrylic things or put a little picture on the front, or I need to do something better with that
yeah,
because yeah, I don't wear, and also I've got out of, well, my probably COVID. I don't wear my heels as much anymore. Like I'm all about sneakers right
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. So I would probably put like the heels somewhere upper, like
Mm,
higher, that it's not that accessible. So that way, when you do get them, you have to go a little bit out. And then whatever you use on a regular day, I would have it more accessible, which is what I call prime real estate, right? So like if I'm
mm,
doing a kitchen, the cabinets that are right above the dishwasher, the cabinets that are right above the stove, that's prime real estate. Those are things that you're going to reach for every day. Then you have your platters and your holiday things. We want to store those up higher. In city apartments, I know space is tight. So I always tell my clients that we have to use the walls and we have to go up in height. So if it means
mm.
installing more shelves, like especially in kids' rooms, IKEA has great standing shelves, like floating shelves that
Yeah,
are very economical. Those are great. You could put board games, dolls, toys, but you want as much as you can off the floor because that's what's
that's
going to make it look more spacious. You could also become very creative in the furniture that you buy, right? If you're going to have a coffee table, maybe get a coffee table that opens up so that you could throw toys
storage.
inside or the throw blankets or the shoes, or but you have extra storage space. Um, get really nice big baskets. You get them at Target, not very expensive. If you have kids, you could throw toys in there, hide them behind the sofa, right?
Mm.
So there's a lot of tips that you can use for city apartments, for smaller spaces. What else? Definitely using the height going up, furniture that has storage inside. Um, I worked with a client. She loved shoes. She had a lot of shoes. and she had some space in her living room, and I designed an IKEA closet for her that it was just for shoes,
Mm,
just for shoes.
nice. Mm,
And it looked
lucky
very
lady.
pretty, you know, like
Hmm.
everything else was very basic, but we splurged a little bit on the doors to make it look nice to go with the living room. And that was a splurge. And, you know, all the shoes were in there. So it's nice to work with somebody that's creative. Um,
Yeah, for sure. I decided for my jewelry, I should take a picture and show. So I used one of those things where it looks like the doorknobs, like little not doorknobs. It looks like just little knobs, like three
yeah,
knobs. And I have all my favorite pieces of jewelry. Like you said, prime real estate. I didn't even realize that's what I was doing.
yeah,
The ones that I like to wear the most, my gold hoops, this and that. So it's all hanging. So it's also decoration. It's also
yes,
like decor on and I love looking at my jewels,
yes, yes,
It's
yes,
all costume, it's not
absolutely.
real.
Yeah.
It's not like, and those are fun things to have. I think I like that idea that you're saying that you made the closet of just shoes, even if like you have a shelf and your favorite prime real estate shoes, you could put it on there too, like showcase some of your beautiful things, right? Who
Absolutely,
says it has to be a
absolutely.
vase or something? Yeah.
I also worked with, I think she might be on my friend Pippa. She's a stylist and she has the most amazing collection of shoes. And she wanted to showcase all her shoes. She was like, I'm tired of keeping them in the closet. I want to see them. They make me happy. I want to look at my shoes. And we found these really cool bookcases that were like open, right? They were like little squares in different heights. And we bought two of those. Very economical. I think she ended up finding them like at Walmart. And then we picked her best shoes, the ones that made her the most happiest. And then we displayed them all. And they were all, I'll find a picture and show it to you so people could see it on your Instagram.
That's,
And
yeah.
she got so many compliments on her shoe organization. But again, it was a collaborative effort. You know, she told me like, this is what I want. And we worked at it together and we had the final product. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the key too, finding someone like you that you work together through this process. It's not like you're the expert, you say it goes, or the client is like says and it goes. It's like a collaborative effort, and
Yeah.
you use the word no, cathartic.
Yes.
My
Yes.
friend
Yes.
Ali is gonna laugh at me because I trip over my words. But that's what I feel like even talking with you through this, that when I'm thinking about my closet, it's starting to feel more doable
Yeah.
and less anxiety ridden versus, oh my God, I can't even look at it because it just felt too much, too overwhelming. So thank you so much. Can we end on one last little tip?
Yeah. I wanted to say
Yeah,
something. What I wanted to say
sure.
that I triggered about the closet, you know,
Hmm.
if for everybody that's doing and organizing on their own and they're like, I'm going to tackle something, do 20 minutes. Don't try to do
Mm,
it all at once. I was just telling my husband that yesterday. I said, I know that this is not your forte. I said, nobody's working with you because I'm not working with you on doing this. I said, but set a timer for 20 minutes. If you want to start working on your closet, Jackie, just set a timer for 20 minutes. And it
that's
means that it's only going through the bottom of your closet, but at least what I want everybody to feel is a sense of accomplishment. If it's
mm,
20 minutes and you cleared out the bottom of your closet and you're able to take the garbage out and clear it out, you feel accomplished and you're like, you know what? I could tackle something else. Do not overwhelm yourself. It's not worth it. Do it to make yourself feel happy and then you will want to continue to do it again.
that is my tip. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to take pictures of my
Okay.
before and after, and like 20 minutes. Yes, 20 minutes feel doable. Like I have all my shoes under my bed. I could take 20 minutes, go through them. I could do that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Yeah, this
Yes.
is just like great life tips anyway for everyone listening. If you have something to tackle, do it for 20 minutes, right? Like
Oh my
you
God.
have 20 minutes capacity, right?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Do
My
we
fr-
have any questions? I didn't even check. I
yes.
can't see.
If anyone has any questions, shout them out. My friend Allie helps me there with my language. Thank you, Allie, and cathartic. No, cathartic. So bad.
Oh,
I love your glasses too.
oh, thank
They look
you.
great
Thank you
on
so
you.
much. Thank you. Yeah, I can't see like anything small. I'm like totally blind. But listen,
I yes, thank you so
I
much.
am more than happy to answer any questions or if anybody that watches it after and reaches out to you, please, feel free to send them over my way. I'm on Instagram, Bonnie Barrios. You could Google me, Bonnie Barrios Organizer. I'm sure that it comes up.
It does. Yes, I
Yeah.
Googled you. I
Yes,
did. I was like,
website, bonniebarriosorganizes.com. And I will be more than happy to give out any tips.
thank you so much, Bonnie. I'll include all your information in the show notes. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And
Thank you.
thank you everyone for listening to Beyond Small Talk. Take some of Bonnie's tips and tools right here, right now. You will feel so much. I feel better already. So thank you so much for helping me in my closet and helping me identify that I have emotional clutter, and I'm recognizing it and I'm willing to release it. So thank you, Bonnie, so much.
Awesome. Thank you. It was a
Thank you.
pleasure.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Happy holidays too.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.